Somebody requested I do a sketch tutorial, so I thought I'd attempt that. Here's some sketches I've done. So these are my credentials. I have sketched. And here's a digital sketch example. Like, I just break things into small shapes, starting with the head. And then I normally do the curve of the body, and then the torso, and the pelvis area, and whatever follows after that. Here's that sketch more developed. I normally do a cross on the face and then like mark where the facial features are gonna go. You want to try and be like loose with it. And then I do the line art and colours on top of that, trying to correct the posture as I go. Here's an example of a sketch on paper. It's really like formless, but you just want to get like the general idea of what you're drawing. I've done a couple speed sketches to like show how I do it, but obviously like I'm still learning as well, and like these are just some tips I found helpful to do the art that I do now. So I started off by just sketching the general features, like I've marked where the nose is gonna go and like sort of vaguely drawn the fingers. And then after doing that, I erase the top layer to make it quite faint, and then try and sort of do a more accurate sketch on top of that. And then you kind of want to be constantly checking like the proportions compared to your reference image to like make sure they're all lining up properly, like in relation to one another. That kind of sounds confusing, but it's just about checking back to your reference image a lot. If you want like a sketch that is accurate to it, like obviously having your own style is really great as well. I like things to be proportionally accurate normally. So that's like what I do. I know that literally every artist on earth says it, but it is all about practice. I used to hate being told that, but it's so true. Like, if you make art every single day, like, you will get better, like, definitely. But second to that, it's also about finding the right tools for yourself. Like, I use this mechanical pencil, and the lead is 2H, I think, which is pretty soft. And then I just really lightly like press out the blush, like, and the shadow areas. If I want a dark shadow there, obviously I press harder there. And I think that creates a real depth in the picture. I normally shade really lightly and then just sort of get darker and darker with each layer on top of that. And also, like, while I'm doing this second layer of sketching, I normally try to keep developing like the underlayer at the same time. Um, like with the hair, I'll normally just do like a rough shape for the initial sketch and then like build upon that in the second sketch. And like sometimes you do too much hair and you gotta rub it out, but you know. I didn't do it in this one, but I will sometimes do cross hatching, so I recommend like looking into that if you're not sure how to do it. I like to do a little like scribble of blush on the cheeks just because I think that looks cute. And I do this thing with the hair now where like I do these little circle things just because that's like a nice detail. Although I do realism really, I think that it's more fun to have fun with a piece, you know, and sort of add to it because although it's really impressive when artists like can make something look exactly like the picture, I've come to realize that like it feels a bit pointless to make something look exactly like it does in the reference picture, and that's always something I've really struggled with. Like I didn't feel like I was a proper artist until I could create something that looked really like the reference I was using, but no longer. Like I think it's more interesting to me personally now when an artist like does their own version of something because it gives like a window into the way they interpret, you know. I didn't want to get like deep in this sketch tutorial, but I feel like it must be said, you know, when you're sketching something or like making art, like you don't want it to look exactly like the picture, unless you do, of course, which is completely fine as well. Okay, philosophical rant over. So this is the second sketch I did, and it's more of a figure study. Like, again, I'm just breaking stuff down into smaller shapes and, like, roughly doing an idea of that. Like, it doesn't need to be totally accurate because then I'll rub it out and build more on top of that. Like, this is more of a guide sketch to get the proportions right. Um, and I think, like, it's really helpful to come away from the sketch for a little bit and then come back to it and look at it again. Like, that's probably been the most helpful um, advice I've gotten, is to get perspective on what you've done. Because, like, I get tunnel vision when I draw and I think, oh yeah, that looks totally proportional. And then I come away and, like, look at it again and it's like, wait, no, that's way out of whack. So, take your time when you sketch and, you know, let it build up over time. And, like the last thing I will say is to have fun with the shadows. Like, you can see I've tried to do that here by just doing these, like, weird shapes for the shadows and creases in the clothing. I like to do just a few quick lines, like you can see on her shoulder, and also just squiggly sort of shadows. I think it just makes it look more fun. Like, experiment definitely when you do this kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's cool, innit? I don't really know what else to say. I think I covered everything that I do with sketching in this video, really. Um, like I say, most important thing is practice. Like, use a good pencil and make sure the proportions are accurate if that's something that you want in a sketch. There's a lot of other good sketch tutorials out there. Like, I think it's helpful to study artists and styles that you like and sort of try and recreate that. Maybe don't publish that if you've, like, copied another artist, but yay. Thank you for watching. Yeah, hope this was helpful and have a great day. Oh my god, I just edited this. Sorry I say the word like about 5 million times. I have no idea why I do that, and I'm gonna stop.